All right, welcome back to the 24th floor. We are talking Memphis Tigers. Memphis trying to bounce back after that, what are we going to call it, shocking, ugly, disappointing loss to UAB. Nobody saw that one coming.
Pathetic. Yeah, man, that one stung. UAB was a 3-touchdown underdog, and Memphis just couldn't get the stops. Gave up over 200 on the ground and let that one slip away, Ruben.
So now the Tigers have to regroup. They got to do it fast because now you're talking about South Florida coming to town. That's going to be a tough one. The Bulls are 6-1, undefeated in the conference. They're going to be a tough matchup. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, their quarterback, Byron Brown, one of the most electric dual-threat QBs in the country. This kid can throw it. He can take off on you just as easily. Memphis still sitting at 6-1, though, Ruben, but now they've got to prove that UAB loss was just a fluke. It's a huge test coming up on Saturday on ESPN2. But what did you see from this game that kind of like disappointed you?
I saw a Memphis team that didn't seem to be focused. Too many mental errors, too many defensive stops that didn't get taken care of, too many third downs that were third and long, too many negative plays, all of those types of things that play into you end up eventually game. I turned it on and it was 7-7 and I thought, oh man, why is it 7-7? And there was a part of me that thought, we're going in, because we spoke about this before going in. You fire your head coach at UAB, you get in the interim coach. That does sometimes light a fire under the players. And the second thing that it does is it makes it hard for the coaches to game plan against you because nobody knows what you're going to do. You haven't coached the game yet. The dude who beat him had never coached a college game ever before as a head coach. And so nobody knew what to expect. And I think that may have hurt him a little bit. And I think they just overlooked UAB.
Yeah, and if we could clear that lower, because it says face UAB in a key road test. The thing for me with the Tigers is I was mainly watching the Ole Miss game that Saturday, and then I tuned into the Tigers in the fourth quarter. And then I was looking at the score. I was like, is that score real?
Yeah.
And then when I was able to kind of get my eyes on it, I noticed that Brendan Lewis was out. And so A.J. Hill, he stepped in, and he did decent in my opinion. But now you've got certain people in the Tigers fan base who says, should A.J. Hill be the permanent guy? And for me, Ruben, I don't really like that per se because Brendan Lewis has done an admirable job, and he gets hurt. Now you want to pull him. But I get it. I mean, you've coached football. When you have a guy who rides the hot hand, and I know why you're making that face because of how it was about Trinidad Chambliss. But I always thought that Trinidad Chambliss was better than Austin Simmons. I don't think A.J. Hill is better than Brendan Lewis.
I'm raising my hand for a question. How can you sit on both sides of the coin?
Because I watched these guys. See, Trinidad Chambliss came in and played perfect.
How did Trinidad Chambliss get into the game?
Because Austin Simmons got hurt. But guess what? But what's the difference? Trinidad Chambliss won.
Yes, I agree.
A.J. Hill lost.
I'm just messing with you because it's so funny because you know that I'm thinking, come on, bro, it's the same argument we had with Austin Simmons.
No, it's not because Trinidad Chambliss got in and they won. A.J. Hill gets in and they lose, and he did not look good on that last drive.
To A.J. Hill's credit or discredit, whatever you want to say, that game should have never been close. So when A.J. Hill comes in, the game should have never been close, ever, in the beginning, from the very beginning. Special teams, defense, offense, none of it. Should have never been close. And so I don't think A.J. Hill should be the permanent quarterback. I think Brendan Lewis should be playing when he's healthy, as soon as he's ready to go.
I think the big question was why was A.J. Hill in to begin with, because originally throughout the season, he has not been the backup quarterback. It was Arrington Madden, who we've seen more in spurts at times. And so I know the question for Silverfield was, why did you go with A.J. in that situation?
Now, is Madden the one who had that long run against that crucial first down against Arkansas?
Yeah,
that dude carried like 6 guys with him to get
But
that
I guess
down.
A.J.'s the better passer, and they wanted to go with him in that situation. So
it is always tough, you know. Armchair quarterbacks, armchair coaches, you know, we always going to second-guess everything the staff says and does. We're not in their rooms with them. We don't know what that's like every single day. We're not watching those guys take reps at practice. They know who they feel the most comfortable with. And I can tell you, as a person who's coached kids for a long time, you know if a kid gets it or not, or if a kid is ready or not. And you know when a kid is not ready, you know that you can't put him in that situation. Even if you think, man, I'm hoping he gets ready, he may not have been ready. And for all intents and purposes, we can cry about UAB all we want, but South Florida is coming.
Yeah,
and they
bring
are
that pressure.
Coming to win because now they see that they are I believe they're the only group of 5 team even ranked with an opportunity to get to the college football playoffs at this point. So South Florida is coming on a mission.
Yeah, so I think we have to address the elephant in the room, as this was a missed opportunity for Memphis in a multitude of ways, because if they would have beat UAB, then you look at this matchup against South Florida, that is your opportunity to really show the world that you belong to be in the playoffs. And now, of course, they get this win. It would be good, but now it doesn't have as much juice on it, because you're talking about what we thought would be the 2 top AAC teams. Now, we did talk about this, Ruben, off air. I think whoever wins the American Athletic Conference will make it to the playoffs. So there is still a pathway for Memphis to get into the playoffs. Do you and I see it? Probably not, but it starts with this game against South Florida.
It's not that it's hard. It's not. I think they got to win 2 out of 3.
They got to win out.
So you got Navy, who's undefeated, South Florida, who's undefeated, and Tulane, I believe, who's undefeated still in the conference. Those are all 3 undefeated teams in the conference. And Memphis still has to play those 3. 3 of their 5 games are against the undefeated teams in the conference. So in my opinion, you probably have to win 2 of those, of the 3, to have a chance to be in the championship game, the conference championship game, then to have a chance to be in the conference, in the group of 5 in the college football playoffs. If you lose 2 of those 3, you have to have a lot of things. Now that it's not in your control anymore, now the destiny is up to the football gods and what happens.
And it's just another season of looking forward to a bowl game. And in this 12-team playoff, that's not what it's supposed to be about. That's why I've always been an advocate for the 12-team playoff, because it gives the Memphis the opportunity to play for something more than a bowl game. And you heard Silverfield say it, that that's not the expectation anymore to make a bowl game. So if they lose this game, Memphis fans might as well be like, all right, well, what are we doing for the bowl game?
Yeah. If they lose this game, it's probably a wrap. If they win, it probably jumps them back into the top 25. They can get back into the conversation about the group of 5. But then you still have to beat Navy, and you have to beat Navy and or Tulane to get that, to secure that real potential. And that's a tough row, especially when you just did what you did against UAB.
Now, I know I'm going to give my pick on 901 bets, but right here on this program, do you think Memphis beats South Florida? Ooh. It's homecoming, by the way, if that helps.
I think
homecoming always seems
I think that those top 4 teams in the American, South Florida, Navy, Tulane, and Memphis, I think that on any given day, any of them could beat each other. I really do. I think they're that close in what they can do statistically and just with their rosters and their personnel and their coaching and all that. So I think Memphis has a chance to win for sure. It's at home. It's an 11 a.m. kickoff from a team who's having to come from South Florida to play, so their schedule is all out of whack. I think if you're going to beat them, that's the perfect time to beat them. If it's a 6:30 game, a little tougher. That 11 a.m. game, it plays in your favor. You're sleeping in your bed. You've got your normal practice. I say Memphis wins.
Oh, you're going to give a score prediction.
28-24.
I'm staying away from scores. I'm not picking a score. I'll tell you all who I think will win in my 901 bets, but I will say keys to victory for Memphis, they have to get back to running the ball. It seems we've talked about it many times on this program. They're bell cows, Sutton Smith, Greg DeRosier, which DeRosier had a play like at the end there. I don't know if we have the highlight of it. I thought he got in on the touchdown, that big play. And I know the replay, he was down just short. I think DeRosier didn't heard me talking about him on this program. Because, I'm a Sutton Smith guy. That's who I thought is RB1. But DeRosier, he scores right there, Ruben. It's a whole different conversation now. The game's tied. We're going to overtime.
Yeah, but with a team that runs it as much as Memphis runs it, you can't just have an RB1. You got to have 2
Yeah, you have to be
who can carry that load. And so I'm glad that they have both of those guys who can carry that load. I agree. They have to get back to running the football.
You can't have A.J. Hill win the game for you. Because we saw the UAB, he
hard
can't win
to
it
stop
for you.
when they're running the football. And so so you're going to give your prediction in your 901 bets, right?
Yeah.
All right, that's coming up in a little bit.